Hello, genius. How are you doing? I hope you're having an amazing, beautiful, wonderful, happy day. I want to tell you that you are a genius, you are special, you are important, and you mean the world. Today's topic is it's not really a topic as much as a guarantee I have for you. I have a guarantee, and if you accept this guarantee, I promise you will create the life you want. You will not have to think about what do I need to do tomorrow. You will begin to move in radical action, and this guarantee will change your life. Well, what is this all-inclusive guarantee? If you accept that thinking unconsciously, if you accept that thinking under the paradigm to not think is to best think, that you are an unconscious person, you will change your life and you will move in radical action. This is very much in your face, and it's only because I love you and I know the struggle that I went through. I used to be in that paradigm. I used to think, and I would profess to the world if I had the opportunity, that the best way to think is by not thinking. So the guarantee that I'm making for you today is accepting to be a conscious person, or accept to be start waking up into your full potential, because the person that accepts their unconscious thoughts as their thoughts is an unconscious person. Let me repeat that again, and let me just rephrase it maybe and really put that in perspective. So we have conscious thought and we have unconscious thought. Unconscious thought is that stream of thoughts that flows in and out of our consciousness throughout the whole day. If you call your thoughts your unconscious thoughts, so that is to say, whenever I ask you, how are you feeling today? Most of us are going to respond based on the last 5 to 20 minutes of unconscious thoughts. If your unconscious thoughts were positive, you'll say, I'm feeling good. If they were negative, you might be honest, or you might do the later and say, I'm feeling pretty good myself. Well, if you accept your unconscious thoughts as your own thoughts, then you are living unconsciously. And it's no wonder that you feel like you have no power in the world. It's no wonder that you spend hours investigating over the law of attraction, the Illuminati, cults, the powers that may be. It's no wonder. Well, did you know that you can consciously think? I didn't know that, and that's the reason for this channel. I lost my family, relationships, romantic and friendships, all my possessions, simply because I was not countering or filtering out thoughts that I approved, thoughts that I didn't. I thought that those thoughts were reality. I ended up being homeless. I went to my parents' house. They didn't let me in. So what did I do? I was out at a bench. I wake up to this little kid. Hey, mister, are you okay? I wake up. I don't know where I'm going. What got me here is really important. I got in this position because I had my first awakening. I had that time that, is riveting. I went to sleep, in tears, and my life changed forever. And I thought this was cool. I thought this was amazing. I thought, okay, this is the life of adults. But based on my unconscious thoughts, I thought that was the best way to live. And little and behold, I wasn't going to apply to the job because I was expecting some big miracle to happen tomorrow. I wasn't going and trying to work on my relationship with my parents, apologize, because I thought that I didn't do anything wrong. So fast forward, I'm at a park bench. I wake up. I don't know where I'm going to sleep. This is the first time. I don't know if you've ever not known where you're going to sleep that night. But let's remember, I believed the best and the most powerful version of myself was to not consciously think. So then what? My unconscious thought was like, hey, well, let's do this. Because you don't have you don't know how you're going to get money. I go and do something that is illegal. I'm not a bad person, y'all. I didn't have conscious thought, and I didn't have a place to sleep. I mean, if you connect these two, it's a recipe for disaster, and it literally was disaster. Now I'm 100,000 miles away from my family. Granted, now I am fixing that relationship, and it's better than it's ever been my whole life. But the point is, If I had told myself, you know what, that's not really who I am, like, I don't agree with that. This makes me nervous. I'm fearful of doing this. Like, I probably shouldn't. Like, and this goes back through, my whole life. I would have saved my family a whole lot of trouble, myself a whole lot of trouble. So, had I told myself, you know what, I'm just gonna wait right here. These are my parents. I'm going to explain to them that, this is my situation. I want to improve. But let's remember, if I would let my thoughts, if I accept that my unconscious thoughts are my thoughts, I mean, then I'm a disaster, and probably 9%, I mean 90% of us are. Because I understand where our unconscious thoughts come. Where do they come from? Unconscious thoughts. They come from your paradigm. This is your personality. This is your actions, emotions, and past actions. Well, the end result of every action in our external world is an emotion. That is to say, the greatest neural network in your brain is created by the most energetically charged experience. Well, I was abused physically, emotionally, psychologically. I was a foster kid. My adoptive parents, they did all they could do, but it probably wasn't the best and what I needed from my previous experiences. So that is to say, whenever I had my first awakening, hell yeah, certainly, my unconscious isn't at my favor. And if you lived a white picket fence, beautiful life, then I challenge you even more to start filtering out the thoughts, because you might be entitled. You might think that, that is the best way to live because you're financially stable, you have, a loving relationship, but the question still stands. Do you want to keep recreating the past, or do you want to create new experiences? Do you want to go out in the world and create an impact for yourself, create the life that you want? Or again, are you going to let your unconscious thoughts tell you what your passion is, tell you what your next move is, tell you what you want to eat? Because if I let it up to my unconscious thoughts, I would be dead, and I'm telling you from experience, I've tried it. I would probably be locked up. I wouldn't have a family. I wouldn't have a job. It's not because I'm a bad person. It's not because you're a bad person. It's simply the lack of understanding that being consciously affecting our emotions, and consciously creating thoughts changes an outcome of our future. If you don't believe me, let's look at quantum physics. We see that the unified quantum field proves that my actions today and my emotions change an outcome in my future. We have Dr. Joe Dispenza discussing a lot about epigenetics, a lot of testing with EEG. We're seeing the upregulation of genes just with 7 days of meditation, 7 days of cultivating an amazing sensation. Your telemeters expand, they grow. What are your telemeters? They're the end caps and the end of your DNA. They're the shoe caps and the end of your DNA that tell you your biological age. We're seeing that just by thought alone, I can gain 10 to 5 years, if not more, in some extreme cases, of life. So I challenge you to wake up and accept who you are. And I don't want you to go through the same nonsense that I had to just to accept. Oh, okay, so maybe my unconscious thoughts aren't serving me. They want to keep me in a limited state, not realizing that I do have the power to direct my life, to direct where I want to do, and my emotions. So I ask you again that, what do you want in your life? Do you want to be the person that is in control, or do you want to allow your unconscious to take charge of what you are? So this is something very important, and I ask that you share this video with your loved ones and your group of friends, your best friend, your spouse, your partner, and I promise you, you start to accept that you can have and be conscious. Your life will change forever. And it might be small things, but the more conscious you are, the bigger scope of life you can grab. Lastly, I invite you to put in the comments what topics you'd like for me to cover in the future. I'd love to get to them all. And also share with me, what is the greatest tool, what is the greatest asset you have to creating the life that you want. I hope to see you in the side of light. Goodbye.